What's up guys, it's Raccoon back with another video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at should you get the 2012 MacBook Pro Unibody 13-inch in 2021. The MacBook Pro 2012 Unibody 13-inch is quite an old machine now, as it was introduced in 2012. Now these machines have a bit of a cult following just because of how easy they are to upgrade compared to the other machines Apple now offers. Even the Retina MacBook Pro didn't offer much upgradability compared to this. So to start things off, let's talk about the design of this machine. So the design of this machine is made fully out of an aluminium construction. It has really nice premium materials all around the machine, using glass on the screen and then just aluminium pretty much everywhere else. I really like the design of this laptop. Even in 2021, it does look relatively modern, although it is getting a little bit fat nowadays, but it still looks very sleek and modern in 2021. Now the ports you get with this laptop is 2 USB Type A, and I'm pretty sure that USB 2.0 or 3.0, I'm not sure which one. And then you get an Ethernet port, a Thunderbolt port, but this is a Thunderbolt 2 port. And then you get Firewire port, and then a headphone jack, and an SD card slot. And then on the other side of the laptop, you'll find a DVD drive. But I'll get into some of the things you can actually do with a DVD drive a bit later. So as you can see, it has a lot of ports in comparison to modern machines now, but it doesn't have USB Type-C. So if you need USB Type-C, then this is just out of the question. Now, as for the actual specs of these laptops, mine has an i7 with 2 cores and 4 threads, and it's clocked at a base clock of 2.9 GHz with a boost of 3.5. Now this processor is quite underpowered in 2021, but for just light stuff, it's actually not bad at all. And this laptop also came in an i5 variant, which was 2.4 GHz, dual core, 4 threads. And if you get that one, it's going to be a lot more underpowered, but what you'll find with that one is it does run a fair bit cooler than the i7, and in the i7 it runs really hot, with it reaching easily up to 100 degrees on normal fan settings. But if you get max fan control, you can get it down to 90 degrees. And I also did a thermal paste upgrade on mine, and that also dropped the temperature a fair bit, so the fan doesn't have to ramp up as much. But still, the general thermal design of this laptop is pretty horrible, and that's a big shortcoming of this laptop, because if you're going to have it on your lap on a relatively warm day, you'll really feel it to a point where it becomes uncomfortable. Now for the rest of the specs of these laptops, they usually come in about 4 GB of RAM on eBay or Gumtree. Sometimes you find some with 8 or 16 GB, but usually you'll find more 4 to 8. And mine's got 8 GB of RAM, and 8 GB of RAM is still perfectly fine in 2021, just browsing Chrome and having a few applications open in the background like Photoshop and Adobe Premiere Pro. And also my laptop used to have a 750 GB hard drive, but that thing broke, and I'm not sad about that at all because it was a hard drive and it was super slow. So I replaced that out with a 128 GB SSD. But what you can actually do with these laptops is, since they're so upgradable, for starters you can upgrade your RAM and your SSD, battery, and of course you can change out the motherboard, but that's a bit more of a lengthy process and a bit more costly. But another thing you can do is you can take out the DVD drive and replace it with a hard drive bay. And then you'll be able to put a hard drive in there, and it'll have cables and everything. You can buy these on eBay, and you can have pretty much two hard drives, or an SSD and a hard drive, or however you want it to be set up. And it's really good to have a lot of storage on there. And yeah, that's a really fantastic thing with these machines. So moving on to the keyboard and trackpad. The keyboard is really good. I mean, it's your typical membrane keyboard really. In comparison to other laptops, it's pretty similar. But one thing I will say is, compared to the modern MacBooks, I still prefer it. Even compared to the non-butterfly switches of the modern MacBooks, I still prefer this because it has a lot more travel. But this is quite subjective, and it's really up to you on what you prefer. As for the trackpad is top tier. It has a really smooth surface, and there's pretty much no other laptops that come close to MacBooks, apart from the Dell XPS, which is somewhat close, but MacBooks are still on their own league. And this trackpad is no different. It's just a lot smaller than the modern MacBooks. Now the display on this laptop is a bit of a shortcoming in this machine. I did mention this last time I made a video like this, and I got a lot of people saying they were actually completely fine with the low resolution of roughly about 720p. And I mean, it is okay, but I would have much rather a higher resolution display, like something that's close to at least 1080p. But this one is a 1280 by 800, which is pretty much 720p plus a few pixels on the bottom, since this is not a 16 by 9 aspect ratio. It's actually a 16 by 10. But with the display, it does have quite accurate color reproduction, so that's a decent side of it. It's just the resolution is quite bad. So I've been using this laptop for roughly around 3.5 years, and I'm really happy with this laptop. It's really fast at just browsing the internet, using Premiere Pro, Photoshop. The only thing you'll find that it struggles in is just rendering videos. So on Premiere Pro, I can scrub through the timeline perfectly fine and just watch the video back, but as soon as you start rendering the video, it really takes a long time compared to any other computers I've used. But this laptop isn't really designed for that. If you do want a laptop that's designed for that type of stuff, you'd have to go with a 15-inch version. While this one, it's more designed as more of just an ultrabook. Well, ultrabook back in the day, now it's not really as ultra as it was, but it's still a really good machine. So should you get one of these in 2021? Well, there is one big factor which might stop you from buying one. And that is that it's completely stopped being updated by Apple now. You do get security updates for a couple of years, I think, or maybe 1 year. But after that, you have no more actual security updates. And even now, you don't have any actual like proper full software update. The latest one you have on this is macOS Catalina. And right now, the actual latest version of macOS is macOS Big Sur, which you can't get on this laptop because it's too old. So if you are wanting a laptop that's more future-proof, this laptop is not going to be good because obviously you can't get updates anymore, which is quite sad. I'm quite sad that Apple discontinued this laptop from the updates, but I do understand that this laptop is getting quite old, so I can understand why they did that. So hopefully this video helped you out in making a decision if you should get one of these laptops or not in 2021. If it did, drop a like on the video. If it didn't, drop a dislike on the video. Remember to subscribe to the channel because it helps out a heap with the algorithm, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.